Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth.
Today's game is Borderlands 3. 5 years after the pre-sequel, Borderlands is back with new writers, loot, and characters. Was this a big enough upgrade? Well, let's find out. Borderlands 3 continues the flagship series of open-zone first-person looty-shooty, and still remains the only franchise Gearbox owns that's profitable. Since Handsome Jack is now completely out of the series, the story this time follows villains Tyreen and Troy, who, thanks to being livestream influencers, have united all the universe's bandits under their rule. To what end? Well, to open as many vaults as possible and steal the powers to become gods. Lilith from Borderlands 1, as well as the usual suspects, team up to cross the galaxy to take the vaults first and shut down the stream. I could say a lot on the story and its humor, but I will save that for the pros and cons. Suffice to say, at least the DLC is pretty good. Gameplay once again has seen some significant mix-ups and improvements. The first is multiple worlds. No longer trapped on Pandora, you now fly around to different planets, allowing the game to have a lot more interesting locales and wildlife to shoot. There's also a lot more fast travel stations this time, and you can warp from anywhere, finally, and this is great because every zone now has tons of micro activities like big game hunts, missing claptraps, and more to do on the side. Loot and shooting have also seen big improvements. Once again, Gearbox leans heavily into different brands doing different things, this time going even further and making weapons much more unique. All Malwan weapons now require a charge up, for instance, or all doll weapons have multiple firing modes. Or my favorite upgrade, hitting a crit with the Jacob's weapon causes the bullet to ricochet and hit another enemy. They also brought Cryo back from the pre-sequel and added enemy exploding radiation on top of the usual flame, shock, and caustic. The more specialized gear, especially legendary gear, which all has unique abilities, pairs well with the new characters. You have 4 with 3 skill trees each, 4 trees with the DLC, and not only are skills more interesting, you can also now select more than one active ability per character. It should be mentioned that badass rank is gone, and has been replaced with an endgame Paragon system to raise stats and unlock passives. There's definitely more I could say about Borderlands 3, but we'd be here all day. Suffice to say, the core formula hasn't changed, just everything's been tweaked or improved, with intent to make this the biggest and most addicting Borderlands game yet. So what do I like about Borderlands 3? Well, nearly every aspect of Borderlands 2's gameplay has been improved here. The first and biggest being the shooting, which feels much more like a modern FPS, with better auto-aim, hit acknowledgement, and just general punchiness across the board. Additionally, the new loot system is addicting as hell. The game took everything from 2 and the pre-sequel and expanded on it, making the guns much more unique and allowing for some really fun loop experimentation until endgame. And lastly, character builds are an absolute blast, especially with the DLC that adds that 4th tree. Having multiple options for active abilities, paired with just tons of crazy synergies, and leads to some really satisfying build creation. Also, it has Zane, who I just like Zane. I give him his own pro if I could. When it comes to the bad, the elephant in the room is clear. This game's story and writing is atrocious. The villains aren't intimidating, most new characters absolutely suck, and the game even butchers much of the older cast. Not to mention it loves locking you into large dialogue cutscenes where you just have to stand around, being subjected to what Randy Pitchford thinks is humor. Bosses overall just kind of suck, mostly because they all seem to have massive immunity phases where you just get to dodge instead of actually killing, which the only thing that's gonna kill is your momentum. Ba-bum chish. See Borderlands 3, that's a joke. And lastly, somehow this thing still has bugs in 2025. I've had the game crash, refuse to log in, disconnect in multiplayer, get me stuck in the world, and the surround sound audio mix is still absolutely terrible. How have they still not fixed this? As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And if I'm being honest, I don't think Borderlands 3 would be remotely divisive if its main story wasn't so terrible. The gameplay is much slicker, the builds are an absolute blast, as are all the new guns and abilities, the endgame is fun, and it has Zane. It is unfortunate you have to slog through its awful story to get to the good bits, but hey, at least the DLC is good, so if you have any affinity for looter shooters, this one is still cream of the crop. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Did you play Borderlands 3? Are you excited for Borderlands 4? Let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, go out there, and if you got some friends, grab them and play some Borderlands 3.